There we go. All right. So we are TechWays. I'm sure all of you are aware of where you're at now. We are an online, an e-learning online company. So we offer just the multiple courses which are all IT based. So I think I'm going to be sharing more of this as we go. So here's our session overview. Firstly, I'm gonna give you the background of the company, followed by the career pathways that we have. And then we're gonna have the session where we are sharing, I will be hearing your questions and we'll be sharing the answers that you would be requiring. Then finally, we're going to share our contact information with you all. So this is where we are. As we might all be aware that the world in general is just moving through the tech, to the tech side of things, and we know the world is just getting more and more techy. And one thing that we may know already is that the options are so many. So with all of these options that we have, you may get overwhelmed with time to decide what exactly are you going to do. And then, so for that reason, we have established TechWays to help you narrow down which options you might want to go with. And now, once you find the course that you want to take or the routes which you want to take, one of the things as well that you may notice is that it may be pitched at a very high level. And when that happens, then you some people get discouraged along the way and they let go like that, which is not advisable. And then our vision, therefore, is to give the high schoolers the head start into this career in technology. And then we allow them to see and know that they actually can do this. And we normally realize that they have much more potential than they may think they do. And then you may be asking yourself, how do we do that then? And this is how we do it. We have the real projects that we offer and to showcase to the future employees later on, because one thing that you learn as you go on, in fact, this happens in many careers, by the way, that when you get to the working industry, you realize that they're mainly looking for what have you done more than what do you know, or should I say, they normally judge what you know according to what have you done. My apologies, that was our managing director. She was checking if everything is fine. So one of the things then that was, as I was sharing, was that you normally have to showcase the projects that you have done in your course. So we offer that. We offer those projects. Mainly, all of our courses actually, you need to be building a project, building upon a certain project, and then by the time you finish the course, you basically have a project that you have done yourself, which you can then showcase to your future employers. And then we also have some global certifications. So when you're done with the course, you actually get a certificate which you can have on your CV, and you can also show it to your employers in the future. And we also provide 24/7 support. Now, this happens in different ways. We have, if you go to our website, one thing you'll notice is that on your bottom right, there is an icon, which if you click, then it takes you to a live agent where you get to ask whatever question that you have. And normally I'm the one behind that, because we also have Caleb as well, who assists very immensely in that aspect in helping the students find their way through the course. And then we normally would have the holiday jobs that we would offer to kids who have done extremely well on the course. And yeah, but that we're still working on it to establish it further moving forward. All right. So we have a video that I'm going to share with you right now, and may you enjoy the video. Let me get it started.
As a parent these days, I think it's very overwhelming to see where the world's going. You know, it's hard if you've got children to kind of advise them if you don't know yourself. No matter what happens in the world, we're going to have technology. we're going to have software in that technology. So being in the world of software is probably one of the safest things you can advise your children to do.
The world is changing. Our curriculum is changing at a much slower pace compared to the world. There are new technological advancements every single day. We do need to implement more exposure to cutting-edge technology skills in our high schools.
So you as a high school student, where do you start? Start early. Start early as you possibly can, and start creating and building things and building your portfolio. Learn these skills so that when you get to the job space, you've got years of kind of experience and things to showcase.
I think that if we incorporate a TechWays platform with our high schools, learners can create games and programs that can carve out an exciting future.
The great advantage of the TechWays approach is really around the coursework is essentially guiding people down specific career paths.
Through TechWays platform, we learn that it's not impossible. We can do it. Every little thing that we learn makes it easier. After creating your first mobile app, it becomes easier, it becomes less daunting. You gain more confidence.
One thing about software that people don't understand, it's the most creative thing. It's like creating a painting, except it's in code. And it's an outlet for creativity and imagination. So there's many positive spin-offs.
Unfortunately, we live in a world where having a degree is not enough to guarantee you a good job or a job that you want. I think what sets you apart is these extra qualifications and these courses and skills that you learn on the side.
All right, so we're going to proceed for now. I'll take it. We are going to be having questions as time goes by. All right, so as Kimai was saying as well in the video, that we have pathways. Now, I'm going to profile just these 3 pathways, but we have 6 of them. And lately, we introduced the 7th one, which is called the beginner's pathway. And that one is mainly meant for people who are not really sure if they want to do some things that are techy, or if they're not certain as yet. Now, the beginner's pathway introduces you to these courses that are pitched at a bit of an easier level, and they're easy to understand, and yeah, so it makes it easier for the person to then get. It's more like a stepping stone, and then as you go on and on, then you can get to see which path are you, or which pathway are you much more interested in. Now, this is the question we normally ask our. It's more like the way we build these pathways is we'd ask these questions to the people who are already in the industry. And the questions we ask them is, what skills are needed for the junior employees? And then they would, then we got all of these responses. And then amongst those responses, we're then able to build these pathways. So I normally, we explain pathways as more like the container that has courses inside. So these are not the courses themselves, but for example, cybersecurity, then it's a pathway, it's like a container, and then it has all of the courses which are under cybersecurity. So I think it will get easier as I go on with it. So cybersecurity, we must say without a doubt, with no shade of doubt, that it's highly in demand worldwide. And maybe if I can just pause here and hear from you guys, if there's anyone who knows what is cybersecurity, or have an idea or heard about cybersecurity, or what do you understand about cybersecurity? Anyone? So you can feel free to just unmute your mic, and you can let us know, what do you understand about cybersecurity?
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Nathan.
Well, with cybersecurity, all I think about is hacking.
All you think about is?
Hacking.
Hacking. Wonderful. All right. That is great. Actually, that's mainly where cybersecurity is implemented. So yes, mainly people who are hacking, they basically have mastered most of the things that are happening under cybersecurity. And then there's also the brighter side of that, which is for you to avoid being hacked, then you must master cybersecurity beyond the hackers, and then you're able to sort of protect yourself in that way. I'm hearing lack of visual. I'm seeing lack of visuals on that video. Okay, thank you. Yes, Ronnie. So Ronnie is giving you the link to the video if it was not clear from your end. All right. Yes, thank you so much, Nathan. Yes, that's what cybersecurity. Mainly people they go that route so that they can hack, and then some go that route so that they can strengthen company systems. And then so basically, if you were in this field, this is where you get to be employed in a company just to strengthen the security of everything that is occurring in the company. So that is cybersecurity in a nutshell. Let's see. Right. I'm going to focus mainly on these. Right. So these are the skills that you need to have if you want to be focusing on cybersecurity. First, you need to be analytical and problem solving, and you need to be detail oriented, and then you also need to be strong in communication so that you are able to communicate what is happening to those people that you're serving, and you are able to transmit that information properly so. And then the tech skills that would be needed would be networking and operating systems. You need to be a master of the cloud system, of how, I would like to believe you've heard something about cloud. Lately, that is like a buzzword because most of the things are moving to the cloud. And then, of course, you need to know almost all the languages because people can hack you from different sides. So you need to be well equipped for you to be able to save the company that you'll be working for. And so at TechWays, then these are the courses that we have, which is we have Linux Essentials, we have Computer Security, and we have certified, let me do this, we have certified ethical hacker. So these are the courses we are offering under cybersecurity. Currently, I know Linux is already up and running, or big up to Renewa and Caleb, which are the guys who are helping us getting this up. So I'm going to move right along to data science. Now, data science, this is the interesting facts that we all got to learn. It is that we have generated about 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. That's like the amount of data. We are at that level of generating this amount of data in a day that is in the world at large. And 90% of this data was generated about like 2 years ago and this is because mainly people now are moving more to online and now people are getting to generate data. And one thing that you'll get to understand is that basically generating data could be anything, like a click of a button. By doing that, you are already generating data. And so this means this is another world of technology that is like huge and needs to be explored. And it's open for people. Or one thing I didn't highlight there in here on cybersecurity is that the average salary is about 700,000 per year. That is like the average salary if you are a cybersecurity employee. And for data science, the average salary per year is about 80,000 moving upwards. So let's see then what are the skills that you need. Now, the broad skills that you need to be problem solving. One, you need to know how business works, and you need to master your algebra, calculus, and your stats. So since you guys are still in high school, or some of you, then this is like the opportunity for you to just know that this is the route. If you know that you want to be taking data science, just know that you need to major in algebra and calculus and stats. And the tech skills that you will need, and these are the courses we already offer at TechWays as well. You need to master your Excel, your Microsoft Excel. We have a course which is called Data Visualization in Excel. And then we also have Power BI. There's another course which is also mainly about working around data, and it's called Power BI. We offer it here at TechWays. And also programming, you need to be strong in Python and you need to be strong in SQL. I know we already have Python that's up and running. We are about to release SQL. If you check the website, you'll see it in there because the guys who are here that we told you about, our operations manager, they're in the background and getting this done. So I'm going to run quickly to All right, as I told you, we have data visualization in Excel. We have Power BI, data visualization as well. And we also offer Python. Sorry. All right. There we go. And this is just, there's like a lot of information that you get here about the rise of gaming revenue visualized. So this is now talking about game development. So if you are into gaming or you like playing games, you might want to consider developing games now. And so this is for all of those who are interested in gaming. We have a pathway like this, and the average salary there is above, it's right above 500K per year. That is if you are a game developer. So in there, I'm not going to focus on these. I'll just run straight into the broader skills that you need. So you need to be creative, of course. And if you've played games or you've seen people playing games, you will know that most of the things there, they need to be visual appealing. So, or visually appealing. So you need to be creative in that aspect. And of course, you need to be problem solving. And then ultimately, you need to be willing or are able to collaborate and work with many people. Because one thing about these games is that like these big games, they have like tons, like a lot of people who are behind the development. And so you need to be a great team player when it comes to, when it comes to this pathway. And then the skills that you need, of course, you need to have your game design and logic. You need to be great at animation. And if you're not great at animation, we still got your back because we have a course right under this pathway, which is called Blender. And that is the course which is all about animation. It's you designing these characters that you're going to be using. So if you have an interest in that, maybe you might not be able to, you may not know how to do it yet, but if you have an interest into animation and designing those, then this is your platform. And then you have graphic design and then software engineering ultimately. So we have these courses that we offer. We have Unreal Engine 4. We have Blender, which is 3D modeling. This is where you create all of these characters in 3D. And then we also have Photoshop. So, and the projects that you get to do, you get to do an online maze, and then that is if you are doing the Unreal Engine 4, and if you're doing the Blender, you get to create those 3D characters we've just spoken about, and if you're doing Photoshop, then you definitely are working with textured images. So these are the courses we currently have under gaming, and then I'm aware that Caleb, who's our software engineer here on the call as well, is busy with Play Canvas, which is another interesting game, online game that is going to be out very soon. So yeah, that's also coming your way if you are into game development. And allow me to skip this, and I would like to go straight into, all right, these are for web development. So if you are into designing the websites and designing the mobile apps and all of that, the back end and the front end of the websites, this is then your playground. And I must say, I tend to be a little bit biased when it comes to this. Myself, I'm very much keen when it comes to these pathways, both of them. So the broader skills that you need if you want to be designing websites is to be, you need to be creative, first of all, because of course the websites need to be appealing to the people who are watching it or who are viewing it. And then you need to be able to solve problems or willing to take care of problems. Like when you see a problem, you should have a smile on your face because you know this is your moment to shine. And then you need to be organizational, and then you need to be able to manage your time, because now in the game, I can share this from my perspective, having been or being a software developer and working with the websites. Now in the game, you get what we call tickets. That is, if there's like a query, now you need to work on that query, and they give you a timeline because sometimes something breaks on the website. Like you need to be able to say, I can get this fixed in about 3 hours or in an hour's time, and you need to be able to get that done within that scope, because you don't want people coming to the website and finding it's broken. So that's where the time management comes in, all right? And then the skills that you need, So I spoke about front end and about back end. We can definitely get you more information if you need one, but I'll just be brief into what is front end. So front end is basically everything you see on the website, and the back end is all the mystery that happens behind the websites. Like, for example, say you're signing up, or when you are actually signing up for this meeting, you saw a page, right? So you saw a form, and then you dial your name and all your details. That was the front end. So that is designed using your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then in the back end, that's where we get to capture that information, and we are able to send you the link, just like you receive the link to join this meeting. And that's what happens in the back end. So for that, you'll need all of the languages like PHP, MySQL, operation systems, and cloud. So we do offer PHP, we do have MySQL, we do have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We have all of those courses actually offered here at TechWays. So, and yep, this is the course we just spoke about, the programming in HTML and CSS. And the project you get to do there is you get to create the website. So basically, the whole of the course, you are working on building the skills to build this website. And as soon as you're done, then you have your website well created. And that's what you get under HTML and CSS. And we have JavaScript. In JavaScript, we have interactive map as a project that you get to do. And then we have web dev in React and JavaScript as well. So, or React JavaScript. So React is one of the libraries that uses JavaScript, but it's like mainly used as in the industry. But yeah, I would go into detail in this, but we can talk about that later if you have some more questions specifically here. And you get to build a social media app, something like your Facebook, something like your Instagram, and all of those, or like your WhatsApp. So this is where you get to build the apps using React.js, which is React JavaScript. And this is the back end. You can see the projects that you get to do. If you're doing your PHP, you get to create the student chatbots. In your Linux, you get to create an AI sorting machine. So as you've noticed, you might have seen Linux in the previous pathway that you spoke about, which was cybersecurity. And that is where we have your AI in there. And then we also have databases in MySQL, and that's where you get to create a vaccination database. So as a project at the end of the day. All right, so that was my presentation, which was paced for the sake of time, but I would like to believe you got the information that you needed. But then this is the moment where you get to have every question or any question that you might have. I would like to take this opportunity and open it for everyone who has a question or has a comment or anything. This is the moment we get to hear about that. So feel free to just unmute your mic and you can raise your question right now. Anybody?
I just wanted to ask about your job shadowing. Are there specific companies you are affiliated with, or?
Oh, yes, Wendy. So we do have a number of networks that we are working with. So it depends firstly on which course was the student majoring in, and then that will enable us to see which company or which developer can we link the student with. So that is mainly dependent because it's not like something that is fully established yet. So, but it does happen, and it has happened before. Actually, last year we had some people who joined us for the work, but they were joining TechWays directly. So sometimes we open that opportunity for you to work for a specific company or a certain developer, and then we can assist them, sort of share them in that way. So it's more of it's tailor designed, if I could put it in that way.
Okay, and after a student has done, for instance, your cybersecurity courses, are they employable going straight from that course, or do they have to do further studying?
Oh, right. That's a great question. So this is one thing we normally say. We normally say TechWays does not replace the tertiary. So that's number one thing. However, if you're going to tertiary, it does give you a head start. It does give you an advantage, such as when you go to the higher institution, then you're well equipped and you can just move easily. I can also say though that you are employable with the skills that you can get here. You are basically are able to get if you have an opportunity, you can definitely tackle it. I'm going to make an example about myself. Myself, I'm currently finishing my degree at that university. And I got this job at TechWays while I was still at university. And even today, actually, I'm still at university. So how I was able to get the job was I knew JavaScript, and they needed someone who was going to develop the JavaScript course. And that's how I joined the company. So I didn't have to necessarily finish the university, but I had the skills and I was well equipped to tackle it. And then, of course, I had done a number of other languages, and I had some skills as well, which gave me an advantage then to be now a software dev manager in the company. So you definitely are well equipped to tackle at the level at which you know, because here's another thing that we normally hear from different aspects as you get to learn more about software development, is that it's wide and it's forever evolving. So as you keep going, you can't know everything at once, but with the skills that you would get by the moment you finish the course or the pathway that you've been working on, by the time you finish, you definitely have the skills to tackle some projects. And then it will depend on the depth of the project to say, is it something that you can do like right off the bat, or you need to have some more skills or like develop yourself a little bit more. I'm not sure if what I'm saying is making sense.
Okay, yes, that makes sense. And then I also had a question about the gaming courses.
Yes,
I have read before that the gaming scene is a bit saturated.
okay.
Like
Yeah.
everybody now wants to get into gaming, like all the kids. Yeah.
Right.
What is your take on that? I mean,
Mm.
and do you actually need to have done art at school to have that creativity aspect with
Yeah.
the
Okay.
gaming?
Yeah, I hear you. So I'd like to believe in the lower grades. I'm not sure, maybe it's like my schooling system, but in the lower grades, we all like did arts. But when it comes to this artistic or this creativity, I wouldn't say it's only based in you having, or it's only dependent in you having the arts as your background at school. It happens that you basically are artistic as a person yourself. So it's not like you've learned it somewhere, but it's your personality. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, and also sometimes creativity just comes with just your personality. And for some people, they actually don't necessarily have it, or they don't feel like, well, they're not very confident in their creativity. So then sometimes they pursue the courses or the subjects that will get them to equip and develop their creativity. But yeah, it's something like that. And as for having the gaming world being like saturated, I think one of the guys, actually, he's here with us on the call. I would say he's into gaming. He's also actually developing the game as we speak. So maybe we can hear from like his take as well, and hear what he says. We have Caleb. Caleb, are you around? Still with us, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir. So what did you say to Wendy's question? If you could give your take on that.
Yes, I'll say, the gaming market, you can say, is saturated, but the thing about learning how to like code a game is you learn a lot of like software principles, software, development principles. It's a nice place to start your coding journey. You don't have to take it as a career. unless you want to, you know. But I think it's, yeah, you don't even need to be artistically gifted. There are many free assets online, you know, 3D assets, 2D assets that you can download and put together, you know, and make a game if you want to, you know. So you don't have to be artistically gifted, you know. It just,
Okay.
but it's a very nice starting point, you know, when you want to learn how to code. A lot of programmers start that way. They start with coding. That's how they start with coding games. That's how they get into the software development world. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome, Wendy. Thank you so much, Caleb, for that. So I'm seeing a question from Aisha. She's asking, what marks should one get by the end of matric for university? All right, so I think I'm going to answer the question direct, and then I'll give some extra information afterwards. So firstly, it depends on what university you're going for. Number two, it depends on what degree are you also going for. So if Aisha, you could, oh, you said your mic is not working. Can you check if your mic is maybe working now? Otherwise, you can continue chatting in here, and then I'm going to speak directly. Aisha? All right, I'll assume that Aisha's mic is still not working. But yeah, to answer your question, definitely depends on the institution you go into, and it depends on the course that you're going to be doing or the degree that you're going for. It also depends as well on the type of qualification, if it's a degree or a diploma or a certificate or a higher certificate. So it depends on all of those things. Then that would be university specific. So you might want to know, once you have established which institution you're going for, then you can get, normally they have what we call, they have some brochures, and then they also have, what do they call these? The prospects, yes. So they have those books where you can actually see how many points you need for the degree you want to do. And yeah, then that determines what marks should you get for different courses. And sometimes they specify that for these subjects, like for maths or for physics or for English or for arts, if you are into arts, or for whichever subjects that they need, then they specify what level do they need. So that is mainly dependent on the institution you're going to, just like I have explained. However, if that question also had to do with TechWays, at TechWays you do not need any qualification whatsoever for you to be able to do any course you want to do. You don't need to have matric. You actually have, we have most of our learners, just like you may know, that most of our learners are in high school, and some are actually in primary school. So you are able to do any of the courses you want to tackle from any level. And even people who have graduated or who have matriculated, and people who have graduated even from university, maybe they were in other fields and now they want to explore the IT world, anyone is basically able to take a TechWays course. So that's just to address Aisha's question. I'm not sure if there's anyone who has a question.
I do.
Hey, Nathan.
So I don't know. Okay, it is a question, but it might be complicated. All these courses that we're talking about,
Yeah.
do they involve me having to know like the in-depth content of like everything? For example, let's say a technology like a computer. Am I gonna have to know, because I want to know, am I gonna have to know like what makes a computer work like this?
Oh,
Like the
okay.
what makes each and every component work together? What makes a keyboard? When I press a T, what makes a keyboard appear? What makes a key appear on the screen? Do I have to know all of that?
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll also try to take your question in two dimensions. To answer the first question directly, no, you do not need to know that. We basically offer our courses at different levels, like I just explained. So, okay, I noticed there are two people having their hands raised. I'm noticing you. Please keep the hands raised. We're gonna come to you right after here. The first question, which is, do you need to know all of that? Definitely no. So what we do is we try to teach you the stuff that's like to a person who would have never touched like any IT related course. So you don't need to know all of those things. However, I think we have, I'm not sure if Linux touches that, but I think one of the courses we offer, which is Linux, actually it goes into that. So it's something you could learn, but you do not need to know like beforehand. Is that making sense?
Okay.
Yes,
But
yeah, but that's also like, if you were to learn that, it would be from a specific course. Actually, I think I'm going to suggest this to a team that we look into having such courses, which maybe teaches you about the computer in general. Yeah, but you do not need to know all of that. As long as you can read and you can type, you're good to go. You can, and most of our courses have videos actually, which take you through the content, and that's normally because it's normally much easier to listen to someone who's telling you something and watching as they're doing it than to read text sometimes. So we have all of that like combined. So most of the things you learn from here, yeah, so you do not need to know everything about the computer, or most even about the computer, for you to do our courses.
if I want to, I can learn.
Oh yeah, definitely. Feel free. You can do that. Yeah.
That's what I want to learn.
Can you say that again?
That's what I want to learn.
Oh, that's what you wanted to know. Okay. What course are you interested in, or maybe what pathway are you interested in, if I may ask?
Basically, all that I said is what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to know everything about technology.
All right. No, that is good. We can actually we can have a chat about that later on again. We can provide some guidance on that. Or actually, another thing is, if you are not clear, or you know someone who's not clear of what exactly they want to do, but they know they want to do something in IT, we have this great survey that we can share with you or with that person, and they can take the survey. So the survey is like, it has a couple of questions that sort of guide the algorithm behind it to help you decide what course might be best for you. So at the end of the survey, you basically, it's like a couple of minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes. At the end of the survey, you basically, it recommends to you which pathways you might do well in, or you might be comfortable and would probably enjoy. So yeah, we have that as well. So if you'd like to get a hold of that, please do get in touch with us. As I told you, on the website, there's just that little button at the bottom. You can basically go in there and we can have a chat about that. All right, so I saw Mohammed's hand first. Mohammed, you can go, say.
Okay, so sir, I just have two questions, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, when looking at universities to study an IT course, which university would you say is like on the higher end or the best for studying in South Africa?
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So this is one of the questions as well. I think I would recommend one of my colleagues to go for. Ronnie, would you like to maybe advise in like to share your mind in that? Renewa? See if we have Renewa. Okay. All right. Let's see. Caleb, you're around.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Yeah. So would you like to advise or to share your knowledge with Mohammed?
As far as I know, VIT is a good school, you know, UCT is a good school, but I always say, like, for programming, what is of most important, of what is of great importance is having like projects that you've done. So I would say, even if you could go to VIT, UCT, UP, but if you have like a good portfolio of like projects you've built yourself, that puts you ahead of the pack. So there are even people who didn't even go to university, but they have projects they've done. and that opens doors for them. So I'll say, you know, the school is not the most important thing. What's more important is knowing your stuff, having those skills, and having something to show. I'll put that as the, the highest, higher importance than which school you went to. But I'll
Yes.
say, BIT is fine, UCT is fine, UP is fine, but have project, have a GitHub repo, have, websites you built or other software you built, that will help
Yes.
you. So that's my 2 cents.
All right, Mohammed, you got that, right?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay. I think you have 2 questions here.
Yeah. The second one is, once you get your degree or diploma from a university or whatever it may be, how quick would you be able to find a job in the IT department, so to say?
All right.
Like, how readily do jobs become available to you?
Okay. I see Ronewa is back. Ronnie? Okay, Ronnie is still not around. Caleb, would you like to take this one as well?
As far as I know, like on LinkedIn, on all these job sites, there's always there's so many jobs, IT has a lot of opportunities locally and worldwide, so I say as long as you are good, and especially if you have projects that you've done, you'll get a job, a good job as a junior or a mid developer. Yeah, there are many opportunities. It's a very versatile field, very vast, amount of opportunities. So I'll say it's a very good bet, to make when picking like a career. Being able to develop software, you will not regret it financially. So yeah, just have projects that you've done, you will get the job. So you just have to know your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you, Caleb. Yeah, and maybe just to add a little bit on that, Mohammed, is that there's no, we can't say it's like specific that's okay, after this or after 2 months you definitely will get a job. So it also depends on which companies are maybe open for jobs at that time or open for applications in that season. And yeah, and of course then it's, as you put your application, they will be looking at the things that you have done. And as Caleb has been explaining, they'll be looking at your profile or your portfolio. And then they use that amongst the tons of CVs that they would have received to select then who might be their best candidate. All right. Thank you, Mohammed, and thank you so much, Caleb, for that. I have Catherine. Catherine, you can go.
Hi. So what would you say are the cons of becoming a game developer?
What are the cons of becoming a game developer? Okay.
Yeah.
I really do not know of the cons. So it's more like this. We have all of these, maybe just to be sure that I'm getting your question correctly, you're asking the disadvantages of being a game developer, right?
Yeah, so probably the main struggles of probably getting off the ground and things like that.
Okay. All right. Then your question is well heard. I'm going to answer this question to a certain extent, because myself, I'm not a game developer, but I know for sure Caleb is our biggest game developer. So afterwards, I'm going to hand over to him. So in my understanding, with all of these pathways and whichever path you decide to take later on, I think it's definitely dependent on the opportunity that you're getting. What opportunity do you have? And then when it comes to doing the actual job, it's also the environment that you are in and the kind of work that you're doing in there. But yeah, this is like the generic contribution or generic comment about the jobs and about the disadvantages that come with being anything that is, are you having opportunities? Are there opportunities out there? For example, now, this is like the best time to be anything techie, because as Wendy touched on this as well, that the game development world is like very saturated now. So there was a season when being a game developer was like, they were hunted, they were like looked out for. And then now there's so much that because that industry is like pegged. So to get in or to get a job is almost like a struggle because there's many people who are doing it, if that is making sense. So that's one thing I can say I'm aware of, like right now from the outside world, because myself, I'm mainly a software developer, and of course I do every other thing, but I'm not into gaming as Caleb is. So maybe I think as we are approaching the end, I'm going to hand over to Caleb. Okay, any comment on that?
Okay. Cons of being a game developer. I'll say here in South Africa, I'm not really aware of like, we might not have like big game development, like game studios, but I'll say that's one con. You know, you might not like come out and get like a job instantly, like in South Africa. I'm not sure of that. But the thing is that the future is quite bright, you know. Well, I'm sure maybe you've heard of the metaverse, you know, that's, you know, is basically, you know, inspired by online gaming, and the future is bright, you know, in game making. You know, there'll be a lot of opportunities coming. And I think if you want to, so if I was to say, I will tell you that you should maybe focus on, maybe you want to make your own games, you know, as an indie developer. That would be a good, you know, thing you could try, you know. But like if you are saying, oh, I want to come out and get a job here in South Africa, I'm not sure, you know, game studios. I play games myself, you know. I've not seen any like South African game studio. I'm not aware of anyone, you know. So I will not, that's a con I will point out to. You might not like get a job, you know, out of university. Oh, I'm a game developer. You know, there are not many studios out here. So that's one con. But I'll say, unless if you want to take game development, I'll say maybe think of making your own game, like whether for mobile or for like Steam, you know, for PC. You know, it has to be like a venture that you want to start on your own. Then yes, there's, you know, great opportunity there. You know, you can be your own boss, and you know, you can get rich. There are many stories of guys getting rich through gaming. So yeah, you know, there's great opportunity. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Catherine. All right, and maybe just to add on that, I think Caleb did highlight the fact that in South Africa, the industry is not like very big. So I think here's another, and that's also, it's like, it's a venture in itself, because as that is seen as something lacking in South Africa, there might be some people who are brave enough to like, okay, we want to actually initiate the studios in South Africa, and then that could open the opportunity for you. But another thing as well is that most of the things are done online now. Like most of the jobs are online. So you find people saying, someone saying I'm working at UK, and you always see them around maybe Johannesburg or in KZN, but they are technically working in UK for a UK company or for UK, for US based company. So these are also possible. So that is to say, as a developer, you are able, like your work is nice because you don't need to be in the office most of the times. Like for example, myself, as we are here together, I do most of my work actually right here at my desk, and this is like in my room. So most of the jobs in tech industry, that's one thing about them, is that you can do it anywhere and everywhere you are at. So yeah, I think that is also another thing, that you're not limited by that. So it is an advantage we are facing currently, but there's also a lot of opportunities and everywhere that is. Are you answered, Catherine?
Yes, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Is there any other question? My apologies, our meeting went a bit beyond the anticipated time. We wanted to make it like an hour webinar, but yeah, because of the glitches earlier on, my apologies again on that. All right, so as we are heading to the finish, this is the call to action. Now, when you are ready and when you're sure that you do want to try this out and see how it goes and see which course you're interested in, or and see where you can get and fulfill your dreams, this is how you sign up. So if you go to our website, you'll actually see each and every course has the price tag. So you can see what the cost is. So some are 1,000 rands, some are 500 rands, the cost alone. But we have this package, or this option of actually signing up, and signing up is like 250 rands per month. Then you get access to all the courses that we have. Now, this gives you the freedom then to start with any course. And should you change your mind later and be like, okay, now I know, maybe I no longer want web dev, maybe I want to try something cybersecurity, you can just switch to that, and that's with only 250 rands per month. Now, if you're joining as a school, we have we have discounts to that. So we just offer the price, which is like for a bulk student. So if you have like 50 students or more, and we definitely are open for conversations or for arrangements around that. So you just get in touch with us. I'm aware that we have, I just forgot the name. Sorry, I just forgot the name, but I'm aware that we have our life orientation teacher amongst us. And so, yeah, that we also have a package that we offer to schools specifically. And then, yeah, we have much more discounts at that level. So when you are ready, and I'm definitely not going to say if, I'm going to say when you are ready, because I'm hoping most of us are very excited in going into exploring the IT world and seeing what is there. When you are ready, you get in touch with us. You can basically sign up from the website. There's a lot of pink buttons that say start now, sign up here. You can just go straight there, or you can get in touch with us as well on our chat bot that we spoke about, that button on your bottom right. And you can join the family, and we get going and see how far we can take these explorations. We have just these. This is a testimony from one of our learners. We had him last year. He's still with us actually this year. He was doing grade 9 last year. I'm not going to read all of his testimony, but I'm sure you can see it here. And actually, when you go to our website, on the homepage, and you go all the way down the homepage, we have the testimonials. He actually, we shared this testimony that he has, and some other testimonials that we received from our students. And ultimately, I would like to take this very moment and say thank you all to all of our attendants today. I am so happy that you all made it to today's webinar. We have a series of webinars and different talks that we arrange as the organization. So to be quite informed about that, you can make sure that you visit our website. Mostly go to our website, it's on events. So if you go to events, then you get to see what events do we have upcoming. And I am so happy. I want to say thank you so much one more time to each and every one of you attended. Feel free to share this information with anyone you know who is keen to exploring this IT world. And one more time, apologies for all the glitches that happened earlier on, but we ultimately made it. And that's what you'll experience actually as you go on with the courses. Sometimes you get to a point where you're like, yo, this is hard. But if you keep going, you definitely are going to be enjoying it. And that's what every developer, that's the testimony of every developer, that as you go through it, you can feel this, wow, I'm doing something here, but it's building some endurance. And at the end of the day, you finish victorious and you get to be called a developer, or you get to be called a game developer or a web developer. Thank you so much to you all. I'm going to take this moment. If there's anyone else who still has a question, screen stopped. I'm going to open this opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Wendy. All right, you guys, thank you. You have a blessed evening. If you are in South Africa, this is evening for us. If you are from other country, have a blessed time ahead, and goodbye. See you on the other side of TechWays.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome, Catherine.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, Mohammed.